Question number 23, let's get right into it. We have given y equals x divided by x minus 1 and x is greater than 1. Which of the following is a possible value of y? All right, guys, so we'll have to think about this just a little bit. So if we have y equals x divided by x minus 1 and x is greater than 1, well, how could we ever get a negative value here? Right, guys, if x is greater than 1, I will never get a negative value. So a and b are already out, okay? Now, what about 0? Could we ever get a value of 0 here? If x is greater than 1, I mean, even if it's equal to 1, well, I'm sorry, even if it's equal to 2 or something, we're going to have y equals 2 divided by 2 minus 1. That's going to be 2. So this is not, we can never get to 0 here. All right, guys, now the last thing is, could y ever equal 0.9 or 1.9? And fundamentally, we have to ask ourselves, how could we ever get one of these values? So maybe let's try plugging in something. So let's say y equals let's say x equals 1.1. So it's going to be 1.1 minus 1. We'll have y equals 1.1, and then if we subtract off 1.1 minus 1, that's going to be 0.1. So that is going to be 1.1 multiplied by 10. I know it's kind of weird, but anytime we divide by a decimal, we're going to multiply. So this is actually going to be, let's see here, 10 point, no, I'm sorry. It's going to be 11. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this yet, but basically, if x is greater than 1 here, we are never going to get a value less than 1. Okay, so the answer choice has to be E as a possible value. All right, and I'm trying to think of one way that you could prove this is you could just go ahead and set y equal to 1.9 and then check if it works. So this is another way to do it. You could just say, okay, so if y equals 1.9, let's see if I'm able to get a value of x that's greater than 1 here. So what I would do is multiply both sides by x minus 1. So I would have 1.9x minus 1.9 equals x. And then I would subtract off 1.9x here minus 1.9x. And I would end up with negative 1.9 equals, let's see here, what is that going to be? This is going to be 0.1x, and it's going to be negative. Let me make sure I did that correctly. Yes. Okay. So if that's the case, then that means that we're going to have to divide this by negative 0.1, divide it by negative 0.1, and we are going to end up with 1.9 times 10, which is going to be 19, and that's going to equal x. So again, it is greater than 1. And again, you could just plug it in for D to check it, but yeah, the answer is going to be E in this case. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.